Man, Discord's blowing up. I better put that on silent right now. There we go. So just waiting for, okay, so we're starting to get some people here. When we hit 5, I think I'll be ready to get on started. So this Q&A stream, for those of you who don't know, this was teased, oh gosh, when was this? Yeah, about a month ago. Billy did his 2 weeks ago. Now it's my turn. So I had, oh good, we had 5, so now we can start. So we've been reviewing kids shows for a while, actually. We kind of review everything but video games here on Media Mementos. So don't worry. We're going to be going back to that stuff. Just not like little kids shows, I don't think. We've kind of said everything we need to say with like Lazy Town. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll go back to it. Anyways, so we had Billy go first with these Q&A things because, my job is a little bit more demanding. That's what happens when you work for government-type people. And when you live in this quiet little redneck mountain town, I love it up here. Don't get me wrong. I just had to plug the South Park song because that's basically where I live. So, yeah, let's get on to the questions you guys asked in that community post. Let's see what we got here. I actually haven't looked at these in like a month, so I don't even really remember what you guys asked. So, Brendan Barney, what is the favorite video we've made on this channel? Whew, we have to pick just one. So, I don't know. Oh, this hurts. I guess it's kind of like a tie, sort of. It's like a 3-way tie. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Modern Family are my 3. Even though I made those myself, I'll still go back to watch them just to relive them. And then close second, I guess, or technically fourth, Weird Al Show versus the Network. I had the most fun doing that. Because back in the good old, or bad old, depending on how you look at it, days of TV talks, I wanted to do that video so bad. And I don't remember if I ended up actually making a TV talks on the Weird Al Show. It wouldn't surprise me. But this was most certainly what I wanted it to be. This is exactly what I envisioned. It was exactly what I wanted. Now, I know this wasn't asked, but if we're going by least favorite, Billy would say Baby Blues Season 2, just because he doesn't find it that interesting. I like it a lot more because after that video came out, independently, through no effort of ours, one of the creators of Baby Blues, I think it was Kirkman, ended up confirming that everything we said in that video that was just theory was true. I don't think he's seen the video, but basically it was proven that, yes, there was a second season. Yes, it was forbidden to air for tax reasons. And no, it can never be seen again because legally the IRS owns Baby Blues Season 2. For those of you who don't know, when a show is deemed a failure, a network or streaming service in this case can write it off as a tax write-off if it's a failure. So that means they don't lose as much money on that. However, the government then will own it from there on out, and they will never be able to air it again. This is what happened to Symbionic Titan and Megas XLR. Although I did hear that Megas XLR got bought back by Cartoon Network, so who's to say on that, right? So Mr. Medicare asks, is the Drawn Together movie still the worst movie I've ever seen? Yes. So we're actually going to be reviewing that for the 10,000 subscriber special. A lot of people think I hate it because it's disgusting, which, no, it's not. It's just boring. But there's a lot more to it than that. And it's also like a lot more to it than just it's a bad representation of a show that I love. So if it was just like a middle finger to the audience or something, even if it was intentional, it'd still be bad, but it wouldn't be the worst. It's been hard to describe what exactly makes it the worst. And don't worry, we'll get there, because I've finally been able to put it into words for when we get to our 10K special. And trust me, it's not what you think. Unless you've actually seen the movie, you wouldn't know the full grasp of what's going on. Also, knowing the history of the show doesn't hurt. All I'm gonna say is the guys behind Drawn Together, they may have had a lot of talent, they may have been really funny, but they were not professional people. I'm not saying that like they weren't uptight people wearing suits and that made the show bad. I mean, just the way they managed themselves and their show was really bad. And it's honestly kind of embarrassing looking back. And I'm so glad I didn't work with them. Just saying, it sounds terrible to work for guys like that. All right, so I'm checking up on the chat here. Oh yeah, the Michael Richards thing. Yeah, actually, so for those who don't know, Media Mementos videos take a couple months to end up getting made, with a couple exceptions for some that we've recorded in the future. I think we're wrapping up August right now in terms of recording. But the Michael Richards one is one that we're so passionate about. We're rushing it into production, and it'll come out next week. It breaks my heart, dude, hearing what happened to Michael Richards and just the kind of guy he was. The same thing happened with Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase was one of my favorite actors, but then I've heard, wow, he's a terrible person and he's miserable to work with. He's the one of the three amigos that never does anything today because no one can stand him. And it's a shame. He's a great actor. It's just, wow, he's a jerk. I feel worse for Michael Richards, though, but hey, that's kind of what we're discussing in the video, so I don't want to give it away. Oh, yeah, the Jimmy Neutron one, that was great. Mobile Mysteries actually was one I didn't think I was going to have a lot of fun with, but then when I started watching the show, I realized, yeah, I could get a lot out of this. It's a really underrated show, gotta say. People need to give that a lot more of a chance. There actually is a video that we're gonna go redo. It's Thumb Wrestling Federation. We had it on private for a year because, well, one, the editing wasn't great in that one, and two, we used a lot of like images in that video instead of footage because Animation Collective, the company that created Kappa Mikey and well Thumb Wrestling Federation, used to be terrible with copyright. You use like a couple seconds of their footage and bam, taken down. But then like 2 months after we posted TWF, they suddenly got a lot nicer, and that's how we were able to make our Kappa Mikey video. Kind of weird how that is, huh? Well, thanks. I'm really glad you guys like the moral oral ones. Yeah, we're actually having a new one this Saturday. No, sorry, we don't review anime and we don't take requests. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. I agree with just what you're saying. You know, movies like Christmas Vacation or Regular Vacation, uh, Fletch, Three Amigos, totally. Yeah, separate that from Chevy Chase. But wow, wow. Anyways, let's get back to the Q&A ones that you guys asked a while ago. Real quick, I just got to reboot, or not reboot, refresh this page on. Yep, aha. So whenever I do a live stream for some reason, it doesn't like it and it wants us to like do one of those monetization checks. But whenever Billy does one, it seems like it's fine. I don't know. I guess YouTube just doesn't like me. What with the whole other father copyright controversy. Never got resolved, by the way. We just kind of had to lie down and take it. What Frank? Sorry, not Frank. Fran F says, "What are your stable professions right now?" I can't get into mine right now. I have an NDA signed, and like I said, I work for a specific individual. So if basically, I don't want anyone finding that person. You can find me all you want, just that person. No, they need to be left alone. And I would love to be like a writer or something. I even just started a Wattpad account last night so I can start writing some stories on there in my free time. What little there is. Obviously, I don't think that's like going to take off huge, but it's a little something. I've always liked writing and making stories. but I also really like the government, so there's no real way to combine that. Ooh, whoops! I accidentally answered. Well, actually, I almost answered this question. Fran F also asked what my least favorite Medium Mementos one is. I think I answered what Billy's was. I think I forgot to even say what mine was. Whoopsie. Uh, so there are two to this. This isn't my least favorite. In fact, I'm really proud of it. But I just want to go back and do it again. It's the Volvic video. I would keep the exact same script and the exact same editing. I just want to re-record the microphone because the microphone was terrible. The one I used to have, it was this cheap one I got for basically nothing. So I just kind of used it because I had no other option. And it really sounds like it. If you watch the Volvic video, it's painful. So one of the things I want to do is go back and redub it. If people are even interested in that, I'm not even sure if you guys would be. But when it comes to least favorite, okay, so let me take a look at some of these again. I need to remember. I mean, I love most of these videos that we've made, but wow, we've made so many, it's hard to keep track. Of course, we've had some on here like Titan Dweevil, Leon Kuwata, where we really liked the end product. It's just that nobody watched them, so we got really disappointed. You know how that works, right? Well, those of you who've made a video and it didn't turn out so well, then I'm sure you know. See over the garden wall, Popeye. Yeah, I can't really tell which one of these is my least favorite. I got some that are like ranking in here. But when it comes to like overall least favorite, I'd maybe say for Frog the Bell Tolls only because it kind of went on too long. I feel like I could have condensed the script a lot better to explain the point within 5 minutes. But this is back when we were posting, was it every Thursday or something? So we only did one video a week, and our shorter ones on Wednesdays didn't really exist. So that kind of wasn't an option back then. At least it wasn't to me. I'm sure it was always an option deep, deep down, but you know, I was kind of stubborn. I wasn't going to let that happen. Isaac the Monk says, let's see, if I had the time, money, and assistance and setup, what story would I want to see animated? Lorax, easily. In fact, we made a whole video about that. Yeah, I'm not joking. I've had that idea for a stop motion Lorax film with all those plot points and characters since I don't know, like 8th grade. Whenever the Lorax movie came out and when I saw it and went, wow, I want to walk out of this theater. It was ever since then. Now let's see what the chat has to say. Oh yeah, so Steve Martin, it kind of depends on who you're talking to and like what production, because I think he can get a little worked up with some productions. So he's not nearly as bad as Chevy Chase. I do think it is kind of funny though that of the Three Amigos, Steve Martin and Martin Short ended up reuniting for Prince of Egypt, and just Chevy Chase wasn't there. I don't think it was intentional to have like a reunion for them, but I kind of like to imagine that it was, and they intentionally snubbed Chevy Chase. So also, if the Michael Richards video does well, we want to do a Chevy Chase one. So yeah, keep watching that stuff because we made a John Candy video way, way back, like back when I was in college, and Media Mementos was on year 1, and it did terribly. So we didn't want to do another actor video, but then Billy and I have been talking, and there are a lot of interesting figures out there, like Joe Pesci, or hey, Michael Richards again. Not John Kay, he's kind of overdone, but a lot of really peculiar people in the industry that we kind of feel like need to be discussed a lot more. So if the Michael Richards one does well, we're going to be doing Milton Berle after that. For those of you who don't know, Milton Berle was an old comedian from the 1950s. But then, like, as time went on into the 70s and 80s, he refused to admit that he wasn't popular anymore and that he was past his prime. So basically, what he would do is just keep doing the same shticks over and over. And then when people didn't like him, he'd go, "Well, this is just a tough crowd. They're being difficult." And then there will be the subject of the video where he went on to Saturday Night Live. And then as soon as it was over, he realized, yeah, my career's over. Everything I was trying to hold on to is gone. It gets really depressing. And it's a story of a lot of different villains and a lot of different heroes. So, like I said, if Richards does well, you'll see Berle. And if Berle does well, you'll be seeing a lot more videos like this in the future. See, oh, whoops. I barely know what Turning Red is. I've just seen the promos and have skipped them every time. I don't know anything about it, so I'm probably not going to see it. Disney hasn't been wowing me with any of their new stuff, so probably not. Probably a mix between the Seuss style and our own. Well, most specifically Billy's, because he's the artist here. I'm the guy who does like a lot of the writing, and then he's the one who does the amazing art to accompany the stories. That's what makes our team work so well. At least part of the reason. I'm sure there's a lot more reasons. Oh yeah, Chris Farley. Haven't seen Encanto. Don't really want to. Doesn't look very interesting to me. I know the songs are good. I just don't really care to see it. I don't really trust Disney because every time I think a project looks good, with the exception of Coco, they've been disappointing me like a whole bunch. I even just kind of thought Big Hero 6 was eh. So, I don't know. And I love Disney. It really pains me that I have to say something like that. For me, it's just either Disney's doing reboots or like single word title trope movies. And all I've really heard from like my ex girlfriend or uh, Kyle or even Billy is just that Encanto's fine. So I don't know. My inner circle hasn't been super eager to discuss it. Have not seen Soul. After all the bad things Billy has said, I don't really look forward to seeing it. All right, let's go to the Q&A questions, and I'll get back to the chat in just a few minutes. So, how long does How I Would Have Made It take to make? I think Billy might have answered this, but I'm going to offer my own take. So, I actually have a small list of things that like I want to do my own version of, or like how I think something was a lot of wasted potential. So before I can even put that on the Patreon raffle list or even consider making it a thing, I have to map out what exactly goes into it and why and what kind of video it'll be. Because it'll either be a pitch like the Lorax, an acted out thing like what we're hoping to do with moral oral narcissism, or a mixture of the two like Lazy Town was, at least for that one bit with the Robbie Rotten voice, which went over very well, gotta say. So once that's done, I kind of write out the script for it, and then I record it, and then I send it off to Billy, and then he starts testing out how he's going to end up making these little images and art pieces come to life. So generally speaking, it takes about the same length as a normal Media Mementos video, which is 4 months. Unless it's a Patreon raffle thing, then it's like 1, 2. But it's probably just a little bit longer because it's a little more involved, a little more conception heavy. By the way, that was asked by Opal. I don't think I said their name. And then the other stuff is okay, that one's a Billy question. And we actually don't take other inspirations from How I Would Have Made It. It's all like just the two of us offering our own spin. Because we want to provide an experience you can't get anywhere. And we're pretty sure that people don't have our 100% same vision as how they would have done something until the video comes out. I'm sure when the video comes out, like at least one person has that. But beforehand, we don't really think so. Elshine asks, would you ever consider making media mementos a full-time job? If it became lucrative enough, absolutely. I just don't know if it'll ever get to that point, but if it does, yeah, I'll embrace it. Of course, I'll probably still do more artistic stuff on the side, I'm sure, maybe government and political work like I've been doing right now. So, yeah, I'm sure it'd just be the same thing with just the balance shifted a little bit. Ooh, how many future projects? I know Billy answered this one, so I'm just gonna move on from that one because whatever he said, I'm just gonna ditto. Oh, I love musicals. Yep, absolutely. My favorite's Avenue Q. Least favorite, I don't really know. Uh, I don't really actively seek musicals I don't like. The only one like I've seen that I'm not super big on is this like weird children's play that my old theater did called Miss Piggle Wiggle or something. It was based on a bunch of kids' books, and I went to go see it just like to support the theater and stuff because I heard the show wasn't doing very well, and I can kind of tell why. The actors did a good job. It's just wow, that thing was not well written at all, even for kids. Favorite show I've been in? And honestly, I say I had the most fun with Willy Wonka and Footloose. And then the least favorite one I've been in, I don't think I've been in any that. Well, actually, no. All the ones I did in high school. Because, well, actually, I'm not going to give that away right here. We have a whole other video about that coming soon. It's basically the origin story for Versus the Network and how I had my own Versus the Networking experience. And it was not fun. Let's see, what did I miss? There's no such thing as a wrong opinion, Burning Exeter. No such thing. Except the only wrong opinion is saying that someone's opinion is wrong. That's the only wrong one. I've not seen Smiling Friends, I've just heard a lot of people talk about it. No, I definitely do think Billy has a right to say Soul sucks. If he hates it, he hates it. No change in that. In fact, actually, knowing Billy, getting mad that he says it sucks is probably going to make him more eager to say that it sucks because he likes getting that reaction out of people. Sorry, we don't take requests, Jared. And we don't really review online creators. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, I was trying to scroll through the chat with my finger. Just shot all the way down. Like, whoa. Let's see. I don't know if the Ren and Stimpy revival's out. If it's coming out soon, I'm probably gonna skip it. I'm just kind of ignoring all the revivals now. Like the Proud Family one, I keep calling it. I just gotta say, I keep predicting these reboots. 2 years before the Animaniacs reboot came out, I said it was gonna suck. Everyone got mad at me, and then it came out and it sucked. So I actually still have that video up, and I'll link to it again sometime. If you go onto the Media Mementos Twitter, we actually tweet about that video saying we called it. We also called, although mostly in private, that Proud Family Louder and Prouder, or whatever it's called, was just going to be mediocre. And guess what? It was mediocre. I call it every time. And I just think the Ren and Stimpy reboot, I don't know. Because everyone who tries to do Ren and Stimpy and isn't John K fails. And then everyone who tries to do Ren and Stimpy and is John K after he's already done it, they fail. Ren and Stimpy just doesn't have a lot of good crews behind it. Whether it's Games Animation with their ladder stuff, or Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon, they can't catch a break. Never. I don't know if this is going to be any different because a lot of these reboots that come out, it's just, hey, remember this thing from the original? We're doing that again. There's actually the Dan versus How I Would Have Made It coming this month called How I Would Have Made the Dan versus reboot that never came out. And we have a few episodes that we pitch, and one of them is Dan versus Reboots, where his favorite show, Population Control Johnny, gets rebooted into an Animaniacs reboot style show where it's just, hey, throwback to the original, huh, huh, huh. I've watched a little bit of the Cuphead show. It's good. It's just not what I thought it was gonna be. The theme song is probably the best part, though. Uh, I'm not mad that Wayne Brady isn't in a lot of the show because it's Wayne Brady. It's kind of hard to get him to do anything, especially on like a TV show. He's just in such high demand. I kind of thought it was going to be an animated retelling of the game, which I thought would have been a bit more interesting. But for what we got, it's pretty good. I'm sure it'll be even better in the second season, though. Yeah, the only reboot actually I think that I really liked was the Roseanne one, and then we all know what happened with that. It was just a big old mess. I'm just gonna say though, it's funny that Roseanne got fired for her comments, but Whoopi Goldberg didn't get fired for hers. I don't know what's going on there. Just gonna drop that. Yeah, Bob Camp was the Ren and Stimpy guy. Absolutely. He's the guy that made it all work. Phineas and Ferb is good. I just wish it didn't take over Milo Murphy's Law and basically destroy it. Yeah, we were digging it too. My whole family was actually liking it because it came on towards the end of when I was still living at home. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm a grown man now. I live on my own. I pay my own bills. I'm a man. But yeah, it came on like right around that time, and we were watching it together, and then it just kind of stopped, and then the Connors came out, and we were kind of confused because we didn't hear about the whole Roseanne scandal for a couple months because we don't really care about social media stuff. And then lo and behold, that's what happened. We were very disappointed on a lot of fronts, both because of Roseanne's actions, which she says like the joke was taken out of context, but like either way, even if it was, she should have worded it better. Like I said, if we're giving her the benefit of the doubt, she really should have worded it better. But if we're not, then yeah, that's even worse. But like ABC didn't handle it well either. The co-stars didn't handle it, and the Connors show didn't handle it either. Like I got that they killed her off and stuff. It just kind of felt like a weird way to do it, you know. But now the Connors, I think, is pretty funny. It's not as good as the original Roseanne, but that's like the one reboot I think is good. But the Roseanne reboot, the season 10 or whatever, I think that was just a bit better. I don't know. Say what you will about Roseanne Barr as a person or whatever, but she's kind of what made the original show work. It was kind of her chemistry with the kids and especially John Goodman that really made it something special. All right, back to the questions here. I don't really know much about Anthony Newley, but maybe I'd be interested in looking at it sometime. Love soft rock, can't go wrong with that. Oh yeah, Barry Manilow did a lot of Don Bluth stuff. You know, Don Bluth actually doesn't live like all that far away from my parents. So what I'm kind of thinking is it'd be sort of funny if when I'm down in that area like visiting sometime, just like, hey, Don Bluth, can we have an interview? He'll obviously say no, but on the miracle chance he says yes, oh, that'd be awesome. Because I know a lot of people want to know about Secret of Nim and American Tail and all that, but what I want to know about is his other stuff, like namely Rockadoodle and Troll, the movies we don't have as much info on, and kind of get a little bit from a first-hand perspective. We know almost nothing about Troll in Central Park, aside from two of the actors being replaced last minute, and also some of the sound mixing being done incorrectly, making songs like Ganorga, Queen of Trolls permanently wedded to the sound effects there. So that's why they're cut out of the soundtrack, because someone messed up and accidentally put the sound effects in the master track. Which, how do you get that wrong? Just saying. But yeah, those award bait songs, they can either be good, so bad they're good, or just, wow, this is really trying to win that award and failing. Thoughts on Netflix? I don't really keep in touch with them very much. I think I had Netflix for a month, saw there wasn't really anything good on there that I wanted to see. Actually, I think the longest time I ever had Netflix was when I was in college, and my roommate ended up letting me use his Netflix account. Again, there wasn't a lot on there I wanted, but there were some good movies and stuff on there. Oh yeah, I love The Thief and the Cobbler recobbled cut. Beautiful movie. It's a shame it'll never be finished, you know? They're starting to do that for Raggedy Ann now, like they're trying to restore it. I don't think there's any deleted footage a la recobbled cut, but you know, kind of cleaning it up a bit because no one really cares about that movie. I hate to say it, kind of for good reason. It's not good. The art style is interesting, and they do a lot of really good stuff with the animation, specifically with the character the Greedy, or whenever the camel starts tripping. But the movie itself just is not the best. But Recobbled Cut's great, and I heard Disney was actually going to try to finish it for a while, but that never really went anywhere. And now that Richard Williams has passed on, he's never going to be able to see it finished. You know, some people have talked about this in some of their reviews of that movie. But did you know the first home release for the Miramax version was through prizes in a cereal box? The movie did that badly that that was their first idea to start releasing it in this pan and scan format in I think Canada. And when Richard Williams heard about that, he just got so bummed out. In my mind, that's what broke the camel's back there, you know? That's what made him decide I never want to talk about this movie to anybody ever again. If Drawn Together got a reboot, well, first of all, please don't reboot it. But if you're going to ignore that, get different people behind it, I think. Or at least if you bring the creators back, keep them in check this time. Make sure they don't just play Xbox the whole time and then slap stuff together like they did in season 3. Again, they admitted to that. They admitted to slacking off while trying to make the third season. That's why it turned out as bad as it did. And the third season is objectively what got it canceled. We'll talk more about this in the 10,000 subscriber special, but one of the reasons it got canceled, yes, was for incendiary content, not because it made the network look bad, but advertisers were starting to boycott the show because it was getting worse and worse, like raunchy and quality wise. So it was obviously starting to lose money. If a bunch of advertisers were starting to boycott, then why keep the show around? Lennon Dash says, favorite bands, music artists. I like Rush. Obviously, Weird Al is great. Always been an inspiration of mine. Let's see. Danny Elfman, I don't know if he counts. He's a composer, but still, he's really good. Same with John Williams. If he counts, then him. Favorite YouTuber I want to collaborate with? TV Trash. And we could do it too. We got way more subscribers than him. But he was one of the inspirations for me to Mementos in the first place. So if I could manage to get a hold of that guy, that'd be sweet. We used to live in the same state, although he lived far, far north than me. I think it would have taken like 3 hours. But hey, that's what the internet's for, right? Although now we do not live in the same state at all, so now we have to use the internet if it's ever going to happen. Favorite voices to impersonate? Crocker, Robbie Rotten, Ronald Reagan, Patrick, Plankton, Tyler from Total Drama, all those guys. Thoughts on Phineas and Ferb? I actually answered this through the chat. So whoever asked what I thought about Phineas and Ferb in the chat, either you cheated and looked ahead, or you're some kind of like, I don't know, fortune teller or soothsayer. Best villain song, Hellfire, absolutely. Medium I gravitate to really depends on my mood. Best Disney princess. If we're going by the movie, I don't know, but if we're going by character, I'd say either Belle or Mulan. Kind of confuses me why Mulan counts though, because I don't think she was a princess in the first movie, was she? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, please. The live action one does not count. Mains in Super Smash Bros. Mr. Game and Watch, Wario, and if we're going by Brawl, I used Ganondorf a lot, but I haven't really been doing him a lot recently. That came out wrong, but I haven't been using Ganondorf a lot since the Brawl days. So it's mostly Game and Watch and Wario for me. All right, hang on, guys. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I have returned. See, told you I'd be back pretty quickly. Let us see what the chat has to say. Yeah, I always miss a lot when I do this stuff. Okay. Where did I last leave off? See the Roseanne stuff. Quentin Tarantino's pretty good. Billy would probably have more to say on him, though. I don't know what my favorite Tom and Jerry short is. I haven't watched Tom and Jerry in a long time, unless it's on my old tape collection right here, which I think we're at 1027 now. I didn't see Arthur's last episode, but I heard it was good. No, I'm not really watching any anime. I'm starting to consider picking up Cowboy Bebop because I've heard a lot of good things and I got a lot of stuff here on my shelf. Also, what I want to do at some point for like 20,000 is my first ever opinion on Dragon Ball Z because I've never seen a single episode before. So what I want to do is like binge as much as I can and give my first impressions on it. I don't know about like the wacky kids thing, kids show trend. I mean, I know Gravity Falls did it right if that's what you're talking about. Other than that, yeah, I've noticed a lot of people have been trying to do Gravity Falls a lot more now than back when Gravity Falls happened. But unlike something like Enchanted Portals, where it just ripped off Cuphead super obviously and everyone called it on it, no one's calling anybody else on these Gravity Falls style things. Now, like Amphibia or whatever it's called, or Owl House, I know that was. I think they're made by crew members of Gravity Falls, so that can be given some slack. I don't have any opinion on furries. Like, you do you as long as you don't make me a part of it, you know? No kink shame, but no kink same. Oh no, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd fit like a VHS tape in a cereal box. I don't know what it was, if it was like a disc or something. Although I don't know if DVDs were around back then. You'd have to kind of look it up to see that kind of stuff. I don't really know the full story, but look up Thief and the Cobbler Pan and Scan, and you'll find the story. We're going to do the Drawn Together movie for our 10,000 subscriber special, and then our 11,000 is top secret. But we're working on it right now. It's going to be lovely. Prince of Egypt is amazing, absolutely. Well, hey, great, Margot. Glad to see you here. Yeah, we live stream every other Wednesday now. I'm gonna start doing them a little bit later, like around this time, so that a lot of our younger audience can come because I know they're probably gonna be at school around this time. Oh, it's wonderful being an adult. I don't have to go to school anymore. Favorite voice actor and voice actress. Tara Strong, I'd say, is my favorite voice actress. I know that's kind of a cop out, but she's just that good. How could she not be? And I'd say my favorite is again another cop out, but Rod Paulson, mostly because of the sheer dedication of that guy to appear in basically anything. And he's only ever spoken bad about three things: Coconut Fred, Bubsy, and another thing I can't remember. Which just goes to show you that the other thing he talked bad about was just so unremarkable that why even think about it, you know? Yeah, it's true. We have to pay bills, but we also get paid a lot more. So it kind of subsidizes it depending on where you live. Luckily, the state I live in is generally really cheap, at least comparison, because there's a lot of old people here. But I live in a rural mountain town, so it's at least utility wise, it's cheaper, and taxes wise, it's cheaper. But when it comes to like buying a house or paying rent like I do, it's a lot more expensive because there's not a lot to go around. Because for me, I don't know if you guys know, but I love rural communities. Now I'm in one here. It's considered rural, although it's on the upper end. We do have things like Taco Bell here, and we have a Starbucks up the street. But that's kind of about it. Now I'm joking. We got other stuff. Like I'm looking right out of my window here, and I see the Kia dealership. I see the Home Depot, Lazy Boy. Oh, it's beautiful out here. Yeah, there's still some snow on the mountains too. Why? It's getting warm out here. Yeah, we had a really big snowstorm, like not last Wednesday, but like 2 weeks ago, I'd say. And it got really bad. And I was just walking outside, like, oh yeah, this is nice, a little bit of snowfall, and then it starts dumping. And then I had to go back as soon as I could. And then the wind started picking up. It gets really windy up here. I haven't really followed any of the new Pokemon stuff. After, oh gosh, what was it? Black and White, whatever generation that is. That's kind of where I stopped. Not because I hated Black and White, although some of them, like the ice cream, were pretty dumb. I just kind of felt that that's kind of where I wanted to leave it. And I'm mostly a Gen 4 guy. I love Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. I haven't played the reboots, but I still have my old save file from back in the day. Technically, I accidentally had to restart because my old file got corrupted. Stupid action replay. But I still have the one from 5th grade, if that counts. We do get money from YouTube. Not a whole lot, but we get some. Uh, yes, we do know about that spamming guy. We blocked all his accounts. Thought on We Bear Bears. I've seen a couple episodes. Pretty good. I just haven't really stuck around to watch it. I haven't seen a lot of newer shows, mostly because here in my apartment we don't have cable or any satellite. Well, technically we do because my parents say, "Hey, we have like an extension to our. I think we have DirecTV." So they said, "Hey, even though you live many, many, many miles away, you can still use our DirecTV login." I do like every so often. There was this one time where the guy I was working for was going to appear on CNN, but then, bam, Russia invaded Ukraine that night, so that got bumped. Not like that's the worst thing that's happening with the Russia thing. I can think of at least 50 worse things going on there, like how Russia just attacked a children's hospital today, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about happy things. Let's see, what else we got here? Cave Cat wants to know if I had to watch any 80s cartoon based on a toy line, which one would I watch? I guess I'd watch He Man because of all the crazy production stuff that happened behind the scenes. Like the whole Ram Man controversy. For those of you who don't know, Pan Pizza talks about that, so I'm sure he could be able to help bring you guys up to speed. Favorite 80s shows, cartoons, or movies? Well, obviously the Terminators, first two. Ow, man, my wrist. Simpsons counts. It counts. It came out in '89, so I'd say Simpsons. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to list them off right now. Ouch. Outside of a dedicated video. Full House is okay. Haven't seen the reboot, mostly because I didn't like Full House enough. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. Rest in peace, man. We miss you. There are a lot of important developments going on in my life, asked by Gord WP. But again, thanks to my non disclosure agreement, I'm not currently at liberty to discuss them. Best film adaptation? If we're going by like book to screen, either Coraline, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, or Philosopher's Stone, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Those are the most loyal. The least loyal, I'd say, are Willy Wonka, Aragon, Lightning Thief, and the second adaptation of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It was, I don't know if you guys know that one. It came out in 2019. It was made by Disney. It was really bad. Like, there's only 2 Horcruxes in it. Snape gets like killed by Voldemort as Voldemort's dying. Voldemort has a nose. Harry's a girl, and the whole thing takes place in space. I don't really get it. The Phil Hartman fan club, good choice. Oh no, that's for Billy. Samuelopoulos wants to know: is my hair pileable? I don't know how to answer that. Thoughts on Buck Denver asks what's in the Bible. I've seen a couple clips of it. It's fine. I don't really know what Phil Vischer's doing right now. VeggieTales and Big Idea are just kind of dead, so I think he should just kind of move on to his own thing, whatever he wants to do. Extreme Rack asks the favorite video. We actually ended up answering that. We answered the impressions one. Kyle Keith wants to know favorite childhood shows. When I was a kid, I loved SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, and VeggieTales. So I think that's why we ended up making quite a few videos based on those things. I don't collect DVDs or CDs. I do have some record albums, though. One of them was given to me by Billy last Christmas. That was really nice of him. But I do collect VHS recordings of TV shows. Like I said, I'm on 1,027 now. Got 47, now 48 shelves worth filled up with them. Not like giant bookshelves. Because what I got for most of these are these little storage cubes that are about, I'd say about 1.5 feet deep, and then 6 inches long, and then like 8 inches tall. So each of those little cubbies I call a shelf. The most painful video to make asks Munchlax at INC. That's actually a good question. We actually haven't gotten that one before, I don't think. So most painful is definitely different from least favorite. Because even if something's painful, you can still have fun with it. Modern Family, as great as it was, I recorded that all in one go and my throat was burning up. It was a lot. Ow. And we also had to upload it 4 different times because it kept getting copyright stricken. Ebichu was brutal to make because watching too much of that show drains your soul. Drawn Together Season 3 was painful to make because like I knew there was going to be a lot of fans out there that were just going to get mad because we didn't like the show. But hey, I hate to be that guy, but we agree with the creators, so ha 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 ha. Favorite video we made? Answered that. Age is the worst. LC Games wants to know the video that aged the worst. In some regards, Popeye, I kind of wish I was a little more positive in that video. My opinion is the same. I just kind of wish I would have reflected it a bit more. When it comes to Media Mementos videos where I changed my mind, that's another story entirely. As far as I know, we haven't really had a serious change of thought when it came to these videos in general. But we do, I wouldn't say we regret making some of them, we just kind of regret sort of the way they went about. Like the Fox 2006 one, I wish instead of making it a drawn-out miniseries, I wish we made it all just one video which is what we're going to be doing eventually. So yeah, we're going to do the Fox 2006 one eventually when that wins the Patreon raffle, stuff like that. Because people only wanted to see the winner, Till Death, and Happy Hour. And Till Death never got made into a video. When it comes to other things like Vanished or the Wedding Album, which are the two I think that did the worst on the channel ever. Yeah, I know. Leon Kawada actually wasn't the least performing video here on the channel. I know, right? You know, when that happened, when those two didn't do well, we kind of realized, yeah, people don't want to see this. Let's move on to other things. We don't want to waste your time here. That's one of the reasons we stopped making video game videos, you know? I would absolutely still love to be a YouTuber. I don't regret it. I do regret making Leo No Arms and stuff like that, but I don't regret what we're doing here. And this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Leo, so in a weird way, cool. Thanks, Leo. By the way, we're probably not going to do another TAS Files video because the Leo one did that badly. Again, we don't want to waste our or your time. Favorite show or movie? Favorite show, Dave the Barbarian. Favorite movie, Psycho. Favorite character in any media? It's a little hard to pick there. Leon Dyer asks favorite video game genre. Kind of depends on my mood, I guess. Platformers are kind of the easiest to pick up and play. Something like Pac-Man World 2, you know. I do consider myself religious. I'm non-denominational Christian. Evo Eget Robotnik wants to know. Let's see. Basically, the production cycle of let's just hide this guy here. Don't worry, guys. Took care of the spammer in the chat. Gotcha. So basically, they want to know the process for it all. It's kind of similar to how we outlined for how I would have made it. We got to just find something we're passionate about. First of all, make sure that not a lot of people have done it, because we've made a lot of videos, most notably the 1 hour photo one, where we're about to edit it, and then we realize, crap, someone basically has all of our points already. Well, can't do that anymore. Or, well, looks like this topic's too overdone. Can't talk about that. Not just because it's harder to say anything else, but also if your topic's too overdone, people don't want to watch. And, you know, again, it's not all about views or money here, but it's kind of disappointing to put a lot of effort into a video and then just see it get like 200 views, you know? So we do that, write a script together, record it, edit it, and put it up. But the thing is, though, as I record this stuff way ahead of time, in case we want to do some schedule shuffling like we did with the Michael Richards thing recently, or just in case something bad happens, like, say, I get really, really sick, like I did the week of Christmas. Yeah, I was basically sick over Christmas this year. It wasn't great. So I couldn't have recorded anything. And if I needed to record the video that came out the next week, I couldn't have done it. So that's why we record months and months in advance. Like I said, I think we're wrapping up August now, if I look at the schedule correctly. Okay, so ignoring all the spam stuff, let's see what we missed. By the way, I think the spamming stuff is adorable because, like, they don't have anything better to do with their time. Also, someone said that they spam Saberspark too, so I like to consider that as we're on the same level as Saberspark. It's an ego thing. And I'm only half kidding. I didn't play Full House Tournament Fighter, no. Bob's Burgers is a touchy one for me. I think it's fine, just in small doses, but I had an ex-girlfriend that really, really liked it, and we watched it together, so now kind of watching it makes me feel sick because of her. Again, it's a good show, it's kind of ruined for me. Favorite Peanuts character is actually Schroeder. There's a reason I made Lucian Schroeder. I always liked that kid, you know, thinking he's more mature and adult than the other kids, but he's just a kid himself, you know. Oh, we said how we felt about the succubus thing in Ren and Stimpy Adult Party cartoon. We're actually kind of the ones that drew attention to it. Because after our video came out, then it started popping up on all the wikis and stuff. So I kind of like to think we had a hand in it. And it's not too far-fetched to think that, too. That video has like, what, 150,000 views? So we reached a lot of people there. Let's see here. Let's go to more Q&A stuff here. I think we're reaching the end. Wow, there's a lot more than I thought. So let's try to get through some of these pretty quick. Rarest thing I owned or found? Well, I just got some Foxbox tape from Pennsylvania a couple days ago. That's pretty difficult to find. I also have a land grant that is signed by President Pierce from 1850 something, from some land I think that's in modern day Texas. Because back then Texas was just kind of unorganized. There was a lot of land that wasn't part of any county or town, so I think it's a piece of that. Favorite 4Kids dub? I don't know. I think they did Kirby pretty well. They kind of changed some stuff, but again, they were asked to change it. Thoughts on Happy Tree Friends? Haven't seen much of it in forever. I just kind of think they're trying too hard. Mr. Zygrade64. How would I have done the Drawn Together movie? That's an interesting question, but I'm not going to answer it here for certain reasons. Most inane matchup I could think of for a crossover that could still work? Ooh, I don't know. Because any kind of crossover could work in theory. The Steven Universe Uncle Grandpa one was pretty good, and I don't even like either of those shows. Michael McJunkins says, thoughts on DuckTales 2017? I haven't seen too much of it. Pretty good from what I saw. I know Kyle really likes it, and that guy, it's not that he likes a lot of stuff, it's just that, like when he likes it, he really likes it, and he'll tell me, so that's how I know it's worth my time, and he really liked that, so it's on my list. It's on my list to finally watch. Favorite Looney Tunes character? Easily Taz. Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry, Gail Blair. I accidentally disliked your comment. Oh no, I undid it. Don't worry. What's my favorite type of drink and why? If we're talking alcoholic, I don't drink that. So I guess just water is usually my go-to because it's healthy for you. But if we're talking about like just kind of something to sit back and relax with, Barks root beer is my thing. I really like that stuff. But I never have more than like one can a week, maybe every 2 weeks, because that stuff's awful for you. But yeah, there's a reply here saying it's weird to think of Trevor as a drinker. Don't worry, I'm actually not. I don't drink. I almost accidentally had my first drink because my mom gets these hard lemonade things, and back when I was still living at home, I was just like, oh hey, it's like just regular like fizzy drink stuff that we also got. So as a lot of young men do when there's drinks lying around, I'm like, oh cool, I'll just have a small sip and they'll never notice. And also because a lot of the time when she has those, she never finishes and says, hey, do you want this? Because it's been sitting on the counter for so long. So I took a small sip and I feel like this kick going, oh, that feels like how I imagine alcohol tastes. And yeah, spit it out. My mom was laughing her head off at me. I think she did it on purpose. She denies it, but it still seems like it was one of those. Yeah, Juan the Idiot who's nothing special in life, which by the way, I disagree. You're awesome. Asks about the Tom Sawyer anime, which I didn't know there was one, so I kind of can't answer on that. The Sia Seeker, please tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Which Muppet movie do I like the best? I always like Great Muppet Caper or Muppets Take Manhattan. The 2009 one was pretty good too. Do play Smash Bros? Yes. Do we have an active Discord server? Yes, we do. It's in the the description of every video we got. So if you ever want to stop on by, feel free. Just as long as you follow the rules. Shirbaz Khan 55 asks, favorite 4Kids dub? We answer that. Favorite game console? I really like the N64. Still got mine in the original box too, although I got that thing secondhand. Still can't believe I got that thing in box for like $25. Person didn't know what they had. That or they did and just really wanted to get rid of it. Worst Disney movie. And the funny thing is they say no obvious ones like Trenchcoat or Chicken Little. Those actually aren't the ones I think would be the worst. I really hate to be that guy, but I think Ralph Breaks the Internet is my least favorite Disney movie. It's just so bad. Like, irredeemably bad, too. There's nothing good I can think about it. Even some of the weaker ones out there, like Fantasia 2000, at least some of the segments there are good. Or at least with Chicken Little, a couple of the jokes work. But I can't think of one good thing to say about Ralph Breaks the Internet, you know? If I ran 4Kids during the late 2000s, how would I do it differently? Keep Foxbox, absolutely keep it. Be more open about how the people making these animes back in Japan, or they're asking us to make them like this. Also, be more careful with how you're going to pick your shows, because, you know, they wanted to get shows like Tokyo Mew Mew, which later became Mew Mew Power. And in order to get that, they intentionally butchered One Piece. I would have just refused that outright and said, no, we have standards. Basically, that's what I would have done. Keep the standards. Thoughts on King of the Hill? Love it. And I'm so happy I was able to debunk the Pygmalion thing. Are you any shows that you thought were bad but then liked later on? I know for a fact the answer is yes. It's just that none of them are coming to mind. I did used to have the opposite for Last Man Standing, where I used to think it was pretty funny, but then the more of it I watched, I just kind of realized it's the same few jokes over and over again. Like, whether or not you agree with Tim Allen's political beliefs, which is just irrelevant, on its own, the show's just kind of, you know? Most liked Cap and Mikey episode, so my favorite. I kind of like with fans like these, I don't know, just something about it just really tickles me every time. So I'm Trevor, in case Sonic Extreme 99 was asking. What inspired us to start Media Mementos? Ooh, that's a long, long story. We're going to get into that someday for like a little bit of a celebration thing, like our 3-year anniversary or however long it is. But it's a little long to go for right now. Least favorite Sonic game. Is it cheating to say Sonic Boom? The only thing I really like about it is the show and the Game Grumps playthrough. I have not really heard of Bluey, but people have been telling us a lot about it because of the Word Girl thing. Favorite South Park episode? Again, it's cheating, but I think Cartoon Wars, just because of the ripple effect it created in the industry, where everyone started praising South Park for taking down Family Guy, and Seth MacFarlane's like, that wasn't very nice. And then everyone just tells him to shut up, basically. That was from Jeffy 2010, by the way. Cars Perry says, what is my favorite TV show? I think I answered that. It was Dave the Barbarian. And then least favorite, I hate Big Bang Theory so much, but I also really don't like Family Guy. Family Guy is getting better for me, though. But Big Bang Theory, I can't stand that thing. It's one of my parents' favorite shows. So whenever I come to visit, it's like always on the TV. And every single time I say the same thing, and it drives my dad insane, but he also kind of chuckles at it sometimes, is, oh, I get it. They're nerds. He's like, yep. All right. Ryan the Meme asks, what is my favorite video game? There's a couple, like Danganronpa 1 and 2, not V3. Pac-Man World 2, really good. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2, by the way. So before we get on to this last little stretch here, let's see what I missed in the chat. How far back does this thing go? Carol the Angel feels my pain, also sick during Christmas. Yeah, it was great. I was opening up some of my gifts, and like, because you know, I spent Christmas with my family. I drove down there and spent like the week with them, I think, which also helped because right when I got there, I got a fever, so it was perfect timing. But I was opening up my stuff, thinking, yeah, this is awesome, but I can't say much, and I'm so cold. I have watched the Cuphead show. Yes, I talked a little bit about it earlier. 'Cause, you know, I spent Christmas with my family. I drove down there and spent like the week with them, I think, which also helped because right when I got there, I got a fever, so it was perfect timing. But I was opening up my stuff, thinking, yeah, this is awesome, but I can't say much, and I'm so cold. I talked a little bit about it earlier. I don't know if kid shows will get better. It just depends on who's behind them, you know? South Park and Drawn Together season 1 and 2 are just so different you can't really compare them. Besides, like, South Park in general has a lot of hit and miss episodes. So, Drawn Together season 1 and 2 aren't all perfect. They have some duds in there, like Ghostess in the Slot Machine or Dirty Prank in number 2. But when it hits high, like Xander and Tim or Board of Education or Little Orphan Hero, oh yeah, it's great. So one of the rejected, speaking of Drawn Together, one of the rejected Media Mementos ones we wanted to do was How I Would Have Made Drawn Together season 3. Now we're still going to do it, but we're not going to do it in the original way we wanted. The original way was to write out a script, record it, and then just kind of do an animatic of it, because I can do pretty decent impressions of a lot of the male characters for Drawn Together. And I feel like I wrote a pretty good episode of the show. Only problem is, well, for one, Billy does. I don't, though, when it comes to swearing. So what we did was, in the script, because the audio's recorded and everything, I said fake swear words. Like when it came to the S word, I said ship. But then when we bleep it out, leaving just like the first like 2 letters, the SH in there, it sounds legit. It sounds like I'm actually saying the word. And it's really surreal to hear that, by the way, because again, I don't do that. But you know, we were just kind of doing some thinking and we realized this isn't the kind of image we want for Media Mementos, you know? It's one thing for like Billy to talk about horror movies and drop an F-bomb here and there or something, because I think he did that even in Shrek, which, hey, as long as he's not getting us in trouble, right? But when it comes to all the subject stuff and Drawn Together, which was put into the script, it just felt wrong, especially given that I was doing it. I had a blast recording it, and I'm sure you guys might have liked it. It's just, wow, that's not the image we're going for, you know? So we're going to just do it pitch style like the Lorax was. And cinematic universes could take them or leave them. I think too many people are starting to do them now. Oh, I forgot about Ray of the Last Dragon. I forgot that was even a thing. I saw like a couple previews for it, it disappeared, and then bam, it's out on Disney Plus. First of all, if Dave the Barbarian did get revived, I would have to be on there. When it comes to like ideas for it, I don't even really know if I got any off the top of my head. Just keep the spirit of the show intact, and also do it quickly before Estelle Harris dies, because she's getting pretty old, and I don't think anyone else can be Lula. Well, thanks, Trey Engine. I'm glad you guys like us. Let's see. Let's finish up with the Q&A stuff there. What's a topic we want to cover, but it seems inappropriate for this channel? I replied with, just going to say, I knew we'd see something like this, and I had a feeling, and I'm happy we did. This is going to be fun. So the Drawn Together How I Would Have Made It thing is definitely not something we want to put on this channel. There was a movie called Scar, I think it was called. It was this really bad horror movie that was, instead of being released direct to video, it was released directly to on demand, I think. And it was the first ever on demand 3D movie or some crap like that. And it's just the worst thing ever. But it's just so gory that, like, if we had to censor it, it'd probably take more work than writing the actual script. So it didn't really feel like it was worth it, you know? That, and I'm not sure that our target audience would want to see half the things that happen in that movie. To be fair, I don't really remember any of them because it's Scar. It's not rememberable in the slightest. But yeah, Super Beasto was actually almost one that got cut. But I just had that itch so bad to do it, and Billy was like, hey man, if you end up doing it, I'll actually edit this one for you, because this is before he came on board. So I had to take him up on that offer. I dusted off the script, I spoke it out, and he edited it, and now here it is on our channel. One of the first major productions we had, and that was the first inkling when I knew, okay, I got to bring this guy on board. Little did I know he'd become part owner of Media Mementos in about a year's time. How did I make the Monty Python Holy Grail ending? I actually, like I said in the comments here, I wouldn't have changed it. I'm like one of the few people that doesn't mind that ending at all. I just think it's perfectly stupid. I mean, yeah, it's a cop out, but it's Monty Python. Come on, they're not gonna do like an actual ending. I don't remember what Spamalot's ending was, but I know that one did pretty well. I saw Spamalot with Kyle once. We went to go see. No, it wasn't his theater company. It was just like a lot of friends from his theater group that he was in. They just so happened to be in it, and man, it was hilarious. They did a great job on there. Totally Spies. Again, haven't seen a lot of it, but what I know from the internet stuff, wow. Let's just say they got away with a little too much. Alrighty, so I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I have not seen Space Jam 2. I'm probably not gonna either. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask. You guys got about a minute left, so let's see what you guys got. I don't. I didn't know there was a Kim and Shigo ship, so I guess that kind of answers it for you. Thoughts on Happy Tree Friends? Haven't seen it in like a decade now, probably. Didn't really care for it much back then. Haven't seen it since. Alrighty, so thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you guys next time.